I never believed in ghosts until I started renovating the Victorian house I bought for a steal. The real estate agent called it a motivated seller situation. I called it my dream fixer-upper pardon until I knocked down the kitchen wall and found a child's diary sealed inside. It was a small, faded pink notebook, its pages yellowed with age. Property of Ellie aged 8 do not read or you will be sorry was scrawled across the cover in uneven purple crayon. I should have respected that warning, but curiosity won. That night, curled under a blanket in my half-demolished kitchen, I began reading by flashlight. The first entries were typical parental school drama, a pet hamster named Sparkles, complaints about vegetables. Then 3 months in, the tone changed dramatically. Dad got mad again today. Mom says we have to be extra quiet now. I am writing in my secret spot, so no one finds this. My heart sank. The next few entries detailed escalating tension in the home. Ellie wrote about hiding in closets, about her mother's increasingly frequent accidents, about a basement door that was always locked. The final entry, dated the 17th of October 1993, simply read, "If anyone finds this, please tell someone we were here. Mom says we're leaving tonight while he's at work. She says we have to disappear forever." I am scared. I couldn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called the real estate agent asking about the home's history. She hesitated before admitting the house had been owned by a man named Richard Keller in the 90s. His wife and daughter had apparently abandoned him, and he'd lived alone until his death last year. I spent the next week searching online archives of the local newspaper, nothing about a missing woman and child, but I did find Richard's obituary listing him as preceded in death by his wife Margaret and daughter Eleanor. I contacted the police with the diary. They initially seemed uninterested, pairing a 30-year-old potential domestic case with all parties likely deceased. But one detective, a woman with tired eyes and determined energy, took the diary home. She called me at midnight. "We need to look at your basement." 3 days later, I watched from my front porch as forensic teams excavated my basement floor. They found human remains turned to woman and child, buried beneath concrete poured in late 1993. The detective sat beside me as I sobbed. "You did what no one else did for them," she said quietly. "You listened to her." I couldn't stay in a house after that. I sold it at a loss, but before leaving, I created a small garden in the backyard. I planted forget-me-nots and placed a small stone marker, Ellie and Margaret. You were heard. Sometimes I drive by the old house. The new owners maintained the garden, even expanded it. They have children who play in the yard, parent laughing, visible, safe. I still have trouble sleeping, not because I believe in ghosts, but because I now understand that the most haunting stories aren't about the supernatural. They're about the very human monsters we fail to see and the voices we forget to hear. If you want to know what else the diary revealed about Richard, share this video.